So we're here today with Kathie Hostick, who, as far as the Ellesmere Centre for Psychotherapy and Training goes, is pretty much the heart of it. She's the founder. But I'll turn over to Kathie and let her introduce herself to you, and we can find out a bit more about who she is and how come we're all here. So Kathie, tell us a bit about you.
Okay, so I started the Ellesmere Centre in 2006. And I started it in response to having done some teaching up in Newcastle on a psychotherapy course. Really enjoyed what they had there and thought that this was something that we could offer in Hull. I was also at that time working in the NHS in mental health, and I'd been on a TA psychotherapy training course myself and had a fantastic experience. Particularly because it was TA, but also because of the environment and the experience of being in a community, like the TA community. So that was something I wanted to introduce here.
So that's become a part of what the Ellesmere Centre is all about?
What the TA?
Well, not just the TA, but that community element to it.
Yeah, I would say that's my biggest underpinning philosophy really, is about being inclusive and developing a community that everybody can be part of and involved in. And I have a real passion for people developing their ideas and taking them forward and growing them. And I think that's what we've done really well here at the centre.
Yeah, I would think so too. I mean, I know from my experience I've applied TA not just psychotherapeutically but from an organisational perspective as well, working in companies, and I've fully been supported and understood in that. So yeah,
I think that's what's great about TA. I think it's it's a model and there are a lot of models, but I think what's great about it is the way that it can be applied in all fields and occupations like teaching, nursing, business, and psychotherapy, obviously, and counselling. So I think it's versatile as a model.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about the training that's on offer here.
Okay, so we, I suppose my first focus was to do a psychotherapy training, which is a 4-year training, and that's where we started. And partway through that journey, sort of realised that in a way it was quite a distant a qualification to achieve in terms of time, money. So it's a massive commitment. So we also introduced a counselling aspect to the training so that it was more readily accessible and people could actually start to have it as an occupation and a living from it. So we have both a counselling and psychotherapy course. So it's a 3-year course and a 4-year course. So people can get qualified after 3 years and practice, and then work towards accreditation. I don't know if there's a difference between somebody practicing as a counsellor and therapist without accreditation, but accreditation is like that seal of authority or recognition. So that's something that we're also working towards at the Ellesmere, so that we can accredit people ourselves.
Right. Okay.
So that's what we're developing at the moment.
Okay.
Because that's important.
So the training that people can engage with, they can get accredited and they can get qualified. And what you're looking to do is be the awarding body of that, or the awarding institute, as well as being able to provide the training.
Yes, that's what I want to do, is to do both. So we're in the middle of that process. But in the meantime, obviously, we're still providing the counselling and psychotherapy training that we've always provided. I do think it's good quality. I think because it's very in depth. It's not just about learning a skill or learning tools. It is about a personal journey of discovery. Big discoveries sometimes, which I think does enhance people's lives. People make big changes. So I think even if people chose not to do it because they want a career in it, which it's a fabulous career and it's something that's very rewarding, stimulating, but also I think it's just such a great experience to understand a bit more about yourself, and some people do it just for that.
Just for that.
Really, and don't ever regret it. So even though sometimes they might say halfway through, I'd rather, you know, work in a shop behind a till. What am I doing here? We do hear that quite often. Sort of getting through that period and persevering, people really do feel quite satisfied at what they've achieved.
And I'm kind of smiling because I remember having that feeling,
and
I am really pleased that I persevered and carried on through.
So it's challenging, and I think that excites people. I think that, you know, there is an excitement about it. I had a contact from a client actually the other day who wants to think about training in the future. Because he gets quite excited about, you know, about what he's doing in his therapy, and he sent me a text saying something like that about, and then it was interesting because we actually used some classical TA, which we haven't done for quite a long time, and it was like
in the therapy,
and I haven't done that with him for quite a long time, but he was excited by it and stimulated by it. So I love it when I see that sort of response, and like you're saying yourself. And it, you know, makes you smile, sort of thing.
Yeah, it does.
So and it's lovely to see that. It's very rewarding, certainly as a trainer, to see people get to that stage of the journey. So
cool. Thank you very much.
That's all right.